the sound bites here at the end. Like, what are the Republicans doing? Dude, the Hershel Walker endorsement. This is one of the funniest things, bro. Now, what I want you to notice is look at this Trump rally. Do you notice something different than every other Trump rally? You may notice in the last couple days, everybody in the back of the Trump rally are young women. He is stacking the chairs behind him. Look at this. They're stacking young women behind Trump to sort of like, hey, women are for Trump. This is reality TV that they're doing right here because women are not for Trump. They are breaking away from Trump in crazy numbers, threatening Florida, threatening Ohio, threatening Texas, threatening Iowa. So he's stacking his crowd with young women. It's like this whole campaign is a mirage, dude. It's like a magic trick. He's trying to hocus pocus to make it seem like, oh yeah, like women are voting for me in droves. They're voting for the rapey guy. No, they're not. Dude, I think they're sabotaging Trump on purpose because it's hard to be as bad as this is.
And it is time for it to stop. And it stopped on Tuesday when we get to the polls and we vote for my friend and your friend, Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. And it is time for it to...
Homie doesn't even know who he's voting for. Donald Trump Jr. Donald J. Trump, bro. Oh my God.
And it is time for it to stop. And it stopped on Tuesday when we get to the polls and we vote for my friend and your friend, Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. And it is time for it to stop.
Dude, Donald J. Trump. Oh, Lord, bro. One more time, dude. I just can't get enough of this.
And it is time for it to stop.
He's still
and
walking
it stopped
away.
on Tuesday when we get to the polls and we vote for my friend and your friend, Donald Trump Jr. Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. And it is time for it to stop. And it stopped.
Dude, but he's like, God damn it, I'm gonna try to get it right before I walk off. Oh shit, Donald J. Trump, bro. Oh my God, dude. We saw Hershel Walker talk about, we got to vote for Donald Trump Jr. He says he's going to put Hershel Walker in charge of the missile defense shield, guys. The motherfucker with CTE who doesn't even know he's voting for. He's like, I'm here to install the missile defense system for Donald J. Trump. What could possibly go wrong?
We will build a missile defense shield, all made in the USA, wrapped around our country to defend ourselves and our country. It's all going to be made in the United States, and a lot of it in your great state. We'll put Hershel Walker in charge of that little sucker, okay? And we're going to do that. It's so important.
Dude, so funny, dude. This shit is hilarious. I mean, it's possible that he's got a little NFL brain damage, but he has been getting memed. It almost seems like the campaign is sabotaging him, or it seems like they're trying to lose in some ways, dude. It's really weird. They're making some really bad decisions. Like the Tony Hinchcliffe guy. Who hired that guy at Madison Square Garden? Everybody knew that was like the Nazi rally. Madison Square Garden, the $14.88 pillows. Everybody knew what that rally stood for. And so they hired a racist comic to come in and make a bunch of jokes about people of color. Dude, whoever made that choice is beyond fucking stupid. It's almost like they had to have done that shit on purpose, or they are much dumber than we thought. That was a horrible pairing, bro. But some of the decisions they've made, like even here, having Hershel Walker, the disgrace that came with Hershel Walker, he paid for abortions for like his mistresses. You know what I mean? Like this guy is up there with Mark Robertson. You know, they've made a lot of decisions, though, that are really dumb. I mean, look at this shit, dude. Nobody here is even paying attention to him. Again, he stacked his background with a bunch of young women. Oh, women are for Trump, right? Women are for Trump. They're not. But watch this.
Think of what they did. 818,000 fake. And then last week they had to revise the figures from the previous month, 112,000. So that's almost 1 million fake jobs. I call them fraudulent. Fake isn't strong enough. Think of what they did.
Dude, like, how much are they getting paid back there? Nobody's even, like, they're not paying attention to him at all. It's so low energy. He's rambling off of some job number shit. Nobody's paying attention to him at all, dude. It's desolate. He has no idea what he's talking about. I looked at this and I was like, dude, these women look like they've just been told they have to deliver Trump's baby. Don't they? Don't they all look like they just told, like, he's going to impregnate you and you're going to have to give birth to his child? That's what they look like, bro. Dude, it's some Handmaid's Tale shit going on.
I've been saying, call this number, that number, you know.
All right, this is him talking now. Let's look at the crowd. This is his crowd. He is, in fact, speaking in Macon, Georgia. That rally, they had the tight shot there. They have that tight-ass shot. You saw the tight shot of him with the, like, 10 people behind him.
Call this number, that number, you know, early voting, late voting. We should have one-day voting with paper ballots.
Dude, there's nobody here, guys. There is nobody here. The upper deck, there is fucking nobody. There is nobody in this rally, dude. He is in Macon, Georgia, and there are empty seats fucking everywhere. Look at the amount of space between him and this tiny pocket down there, but even that, dude, is just row upon row upon row of empty seats. They have the area behind him stacked, closely sitting. But this thing, dude, is empty, bro. Look at that, boss. That shit is desolate. This big amphitheater, and there's probably, I don't know, 700 people there. Yeah, that's what it is. It is like the last place MLB team is what it is. No joke. Now, bear with me because I'm going to take you down a rabbit hole. So most of these polls have been Harris positive. Now, in the last couple weeks of October, there have been a flood of Trump polls. But here's where it gets good, guys, because it's not the poll that counts. It's the data inside the polls. I'm going to take you on a little journey here. There are a lot of polls starting to show Trump ahead. You see this? Look at all these polls all showing Trump ahead. So you see that and you think, oh man, Trump is gaining. But also it's weird because, you know, we have the Puerto Rico comments, the watermelon comments, and all that. So why are these polls showing Trump? But let's look inside the data because here's where it gets interesting. I decided to look at one of these Atlas Intel polls. This is the poll that has Trump up +2. It just came out yesterday. Trump +2. But look at who they're polling, guys. Look at the breakdown. Look at the age groupings. Only 16% young people. The biggest demographic, 36%, is Gen X. Gen X is the biggest group breaking for Trump. No college degree, 57%, also breaking for Trump. But look at the regions. 21% rural, 47% suburbs, hardly any urban, and 71% white. So you have white, no urban, no college, mostly Gen X. And the result of that group is +2 Trump. Dude, that's devastating. No college, 70% white, no urban, and mostly Gen X. That poll should be like 6 points Trump, but it's only 2. It's those kinds of details that don't look good for Trump. Because when you look at the demographics of this poll, Trump is very underperforming. So what they're doing is Atlas Intel is flooding the market with polls that are showing Trump +2. But when you look at the breakdown of the people in those polls, it should be much higher. They also think all Republicans are voting for Trump. That's a big problem. Let's look at this one. This one here from 1031 Atlas. This has Trump up +1. But when we look at this, 3,490, again, 37% Gen X. It's like even more Republican, 56% not college degree. There's a slightly more urban population, but it's 70% white. And this is +1. This grouping right here, mostly Gen X, no college, significant suburban and rural, and almost all white, 70% white. And it is +1 for Trump, bro. That's crazy. Like, this should be at least +4 for Trump. And the fact that it's not +4 means that Trump is not performing well in some of his bread and butter groups. And this is what's going to be a killer for him, dude. Republicans are making the assumption that all of the Republicans are voting for Trump. And I do not believe that that is the case. Based on the sheer number of Republicans that are speaking out and supporting Kamala Harris, and the fact that there are a bunch of never Trumpers that were, Haley voters that voted for Haley even after she dropped out of the race, I believe like 15%, 10% of Republican voters are going to be voting for Kamala Harris. But the noise, bro, the noise, have you noticed? The noise online is so loud right now. The noise online is so loud. Now, the other thing is, this is coming out. I don't know if you saw this, but Laura Loomer tweeted, wow, the RFK Jr. fundraising scam gets even worse. He says he's raising money to get Trump back into the White House. Not only does the money not go to Trump and instead goes toward paying off debt from the RFK presidential campaign, but donations over $6,600 go to Kennedy Victory Fund, which funnels money into the Libertarian Party. So RFK Jr. is ripping off Trump voters. He is fundraising off Trump, saying, I'm raising money to get Trump into office. He's using Trump to raise money, but what he's doing is he's paying off his own debt and then giving money to the libertarians. Holy shit. Dude, that's not going to go well, bro. Trump only grades on the loyalty curve. So Trump does get a lot of people who steal from him, don't do good work, are skimming off the top, because his only requirement for tenure is devotion to him. And so he gets the worst kind of people. He does. I mean, grifters hang out with other grifters. That's just how it works. Other people want skilled, dependable workers. But with Trump, it's not about being skilled or dependable. It's about, just being loyal. Okay? But Trump he's on a, dude, it almost seems like he's on a one-man campaign to like decimate himself, bro. He's not functioning well, boss. There's been really open racism and xenophobia. And like now we've seen recently with like that kid going off on Jason Kelsey and another kid I'm going to show you today in Florida, a 17-year-old kid that punched a Harris supporter, an older woman, and he got arrested. There is really a sort of violence and an escalating racism and xenophobia and toxicity that is coming from the emboldenedness of these Trump fans. They are so emboldened now to think that they can just go around harming people with impunity, with no consequences. And I think a significant victory by Kamala Harris would be a message to the country that, we're not gonna take that shit. But yeah, for starters, Donald Trump is almost certainly going to declare victory early in the night, before they have counted any of the mail-ins. I guarantee it. Everybody's just wondering kind of when he's going to do that. But we know he's going to claim it. He's going to lie. He's going to start it off early. But it's really weird, though, because there's been a large push of Republican early voting. But it's possible there's going to be big Kamala numbers early, especially if Republicans were voting for her. But yes, he's going to lie, and there is going to be tremendous legal challenges. They have been trying legal snafus this whole time. But Kamala Harris was a prosecutor. She has Mark Elias, the guy from Democracy Docket. He's spearheading the legal challenges. And let me just tell you, when it comes to Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, Donald Trump does not have good lawyers. We've seen Alina Habba. You know, she looks good when she's walking down the catwalk and shit, and she can flap her gums like nobody's business, but she can't practice law well. And that is mostly Donald Trump's legal strategy, is he doesn't really ever have very good lawyers. They're just obstructionists. Kamala Harris has a much better legal team than Donald Trump will ever have. So, you know, I think they're prepared. I mean, look at the shit he's pulled this week. He filed a $10 billion lawsuit against CBS. Because what? Because CBS showed multiple different edited versions of a candidate's question, which is allowed, bro. It's like her interview is content. They can carve that shit up however they want, bro. They could make like YouTube shorts for days. They're under no compulsion. Nobody's giving out the raw tapes of Trump's, 77-minute ramble to answer one question. He filed a frivolous $10 billion lawsuit so they could post on Twitter about the $10 billion lawsuit. But like, dude, that shit is not going anywhere. That shit's going to get bounced faster than LeBron James basketball, dude. And the other thing I like to one up, and I've been going at this on Twitter too with these MAGA goons, is not only did Donald Trump lose, he lost in all of the cases, even the ones that went before Trump appointed judges. But in the 4 years since, he has gone on all these TV shows, all these podcasts, saying he really won, saying he has this mountain of evidence, all these papers, as he calls them. But in 4 years, the motherfucker who uses Twitter every minute of every day, tweeting about every thought under the sun, using his social media presence to try and advance his cause, every minute of every day that he's awake, he's never once tweeted one paper, one piece of evidence. And we've seen the Twitter files, and we've seen all these like news scoops break in the last 4 years. So if he had 100 papers, he could do a tweet thread of 100 of them, or even 5 of them, and they would be disseminated by every journalist in the entire world. His evidence, if he put it on social media, would get scrutinized by every journalist, every lawyer, every human being on the planet would dig in, and they would have enough to start a serious investigation. But again, in 4 years, homie hasn't produced shit. And that's not an accident, because he's fucking lying. He doesn't have a shred of evidence. He's sitting on his gold toilet, dude, jerking the microphone stand, bro. That's all he's got. But now what we've been sort of leading up to is this situation right here, because this kind of ties in to what I've been talking about. The teenager who went to a Kamala Harris rally, he was charged with punching a 70-year-old woman in the stomach. Obviously, I don't want to go head over heels bashing on this kid, because 17-year-old kids make really horrible decisions. But I also want to point out, like, what's going on here is some of these young men. We saw this guy yesterday chasing Jason Kelce around, using the F slur about Travis Kelce. He's using the F slur to describe a man dating one of the most desirable women on the planet. And so this young guy was with a phone using the F slur out in the open in a crowd of people, yelling after somebody as well known as Jason Kelce. And he's doing it on camera, ostensibly going to put that shit online and identify himself with the F slur online. This kid is going around punching a 70-year-old woman. Like, first off, if he's a Trump supporter, why is he at a Kamala rally? Why is he punching a woman at a rally? Why is he punching a 70-year-old woman at a rally? Like, something is really going on where these Trump-supporting men are behaving in ways that is not okay. Physical and verbal violence while chasing someone around. These people are chasing down people. They're going into other people's spaces. There's some behavior going on, specifically with young men, that's getting a little bit out of line here. They are being radicalized with some idea about Trumpism that it's okay to go around pursuing people and trying to harm them while you pursue them in the name of Donald Trump or in the name of, the MAGA movement. A 17-year-old boy wearing a t-shirt featuring an image of Trump raising his middle finger in front of an American flag background punched the Harris supporter, knocking her off her feet. According to witnesses, the 17-year-old was walking away from a separate altercation with a male Harris supporter when he struck Tomasco and knocked her to the ground. Tomasco said she did nothing to provoke him. She did not hear him say anything to her. In fact, she didn't even see him coming. So he literally got into an argument with some dude who was a Harris supporter, walked away from it, and just fucking slugged an innocent 70-year-old woman, bro. Like, dude, that kid is fucked up, bro. Like, that kid has some serious emotional dysregulation. There's something going on with these people that is not about politics. That ain't politics, guys. When you're going to the other side's rally, you're getting in fights and then punching innocent elderly women. That's not politics. We need some harm reduction going on there. Something's going on.
Multiple capital injuries. Multiple capital injuries.
They're trying to beat the shit out of cops and force their way into the Capitol, bro. See that? These are the guys they want to pardon, bro. According to Donald Trump, these are the good guys. Dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? Is that how we want America to go? That when a bunch of half-crocked redneck shitheads in baggy Carhartts and sweatshirts with a Trump scarf over their stale beer-smelling face, they're gonna just show up and smash the windows out and like threaten us with violence and shit? If there's a book in the library they don't like, if there's a pride flag on a school that they don't even have kids that they go to that school, like the Proud Boys do, is this the world we want to live in? Where we let these fat like come and just break shit up because they're mad because their little bitch didn't win a fucking election? Like, dude, this is bullshit. And he's gonna pardon these guys. That's what I don't understand. If you vote for Trump, you're voting for these guys. Dude, you're voting for these guys. You're saying you approve of this behavior. This is bullshit, bro. Joe Biden was right. The MAGA people, Tony Hinchcliffe, and the people that use all these racist dog whistles, they are garbage, guys. The MAGA supporters that demonize minorities and LGBTQ people and trans people and women, they're fucking garbage. Joe Biden was right. Hashtag Joe Biden was right. Straight trash. White fucking trash. I'll say it. Not all Republicans, not all conservatives, but the MAGA people that demonize the LGBTQ women and minorities and want concentration camps, they're white fucking trash.